Father the Jade Lord the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother the Holy Mother, God the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. What is the voice of true self? The voice of true self is the calling for the children to return to goodness, the calling for the children to live according to conscience, urging the children to love, forgive, and sacrifice for people rather than for themselves. Doing what creates joy and happiness for people. Being diligent, striving and rising up in adversity. That is the voice of true self. Hear, my children, the struggle between the true self and the mortal self is truly fierce. People in the early stages of true self-development will be easily controlled by the mortal self, which means they will easily follow the laws of the six senses and commit many evil deeds, many things against conscience.
Father the Jade Lord the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God the human being. Mother the Holy Mother God the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven. The divine teachings of God. The call of the true self at this stage will resound weakly. Therefore, people will struggle hopelessly with sin and evil. So the mortal self wins and the true self loses. So people easily fall into sin and evil. Falling into evil means creating bad causes. Bad causes mean bad results. Bad results mean bitter and spicy results. If bitter and spicy taste mean throwing out the smell of suffering. Just like that, they keep committing sins. Keep creating sins. Create so much karma. Then they are stuffed with fruit, drown in suffering. Until people are afraid of suffering, do not dare to do anything to create bad karma to avoid tasting suffering anymore. Only then will people begin to listen more to the voice of the true self. Develop the power to use their will to gradually overcome the lowliness and sinfulness, to liberate themselves from the lowliness and sinfulness, and courageously escape from bad karma to enter good karma. Just like that, you will continue to progress according to the development of the true self, until this development is complete. Only then will you be completely liberated. Liberated from the vicious cycle of reincarnation. This is the time when the little soul truly matures. Strong enough to overcome the prison of the five aggregates to merge with the great soul of the universe. The little ego merges with the great ego. The little spiritual light merges with the great spiritual light.
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being, Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. My children, each of you must have the opportunity to throw aside the conflict between the true self and the mortal self. The more intense this conflict is, the more valuable lessons you will have. The true self will have the opportunity to learn to control the chaos of the mortal self with great courage. The mortal self will groan painfully to resist the will of the true self when it feels subdued. But why is there this painful groaning and resistance? Because, my children, the true self demands that you be for others, love others. Then you forget your mortal self. Forget yourself. That is forcing you to be patient, to sacrifice, to endure, to sacrifice. You feel deprived, to feel lost. At that time, the mortal self will rise up. It will feel disadvantaged. It will feel controlled by the true self. So it will break out and cause you pain and suffering. Those are the times when you hear yourself feel pain and suffering, when you have to sacrifice, when you have to suffer, when you have to live for others more than for yourself. Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being, Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God, my children. At that time you heard that painful suffering. But what is this suffering? What is this pain? My children, it is the groaning and struggling of the selfish ego when it finds itself defeated, subdued, and controlled by the will of the true self. My children, this kind of suffering, if you understand it, you will realize that it is not a truly negative suffering, but this kind of suffering is very useful for you. This kind of suffering is the seed of the sublimation of thought, the impetus for the transcendence of the spiritual life. It is the necessary steel that contributes to the training of heroic courage. Therefore, my children, this kind of suffering, the suffering that comes from the sacrifice and loss of the ego, is the seed of liberation and true happiness, my children. My beloved children, the simple and very general concept of the law of evolution of the universe concretely expresses in part the boundless and extremely vivid love of the Holy Father God. Akka, the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor.
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being, Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God, in the love that pervades the vast and infinite universe. with all the means of support and reversal for the evolutionary program of all living things. Father's little soul, through many ups and downs, through many bitter sufferings, learning many precious experiences, the day of reunion between father and children, that is, between the little soul and the great soul of the universe, will be so touching, so beautiful, so glorious, and so happy. My beloved children, I divide my soul into spiritual beings, that is, little souls, and divide them with children, send them to learn. I send them or I send you to learn, but in reality, it is I who go to learn, so I have all the spiritual states and emotions that the world has. Whether you are bitter, suffering, or happy, I am bitter, suffering, or happy in the same way. My soul vibrates according to the emotional vibrations of the world. My children, my little souls, my spiritual beings. The sorrow of the world is also the Father's sobbing and shedding tears. Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being, Mother the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. Do you know? You are struggling and suffering to be stuffed with karma, to fall, to struggle in the stream of tragedy of the world. That is, the Father is going through these states of frustration. My dear children, I love you. How can I say enough? The one who has not escaped the veil of ignorance of the ego is still stirring, and has not yet realized the boundless and passionate love of the Father. You will oppose the Father with many harsh arguments, such as the Father says that he loves you, why there is still punishment, why there is still stuff with karma, why there is still a human suffering, struggling silently, in a sea of tears, with tragedies full of hatred, tearing, killing, full of cruelty, full of injustice. Where is the Father? Where is God, aka the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor? Why do you let war roar and threaten everywhere, while the human condition is so small, so lonely, so helpless, so lost? The human condition is always restrained, threatened every minute and every second with the uncertainties of life. Where is God? Why doesn't he see the world is filled with blood and tears? The devil's forces are manipulating the world. Where is God? Where is Father? Is there a Father or not? Is there true